400,000 elephants and 1,000 rhinos killed in Kenya this year. Welcome to the Sunday movie marathon. Mi chiamo Max.
I'm Chris.
Je m'appelle Darcy. Boom.
I'm not as cultured as you guys. I can only speak English.
I realised the instant I said that it was not French.
Oh my god, I was the only one who actually said it in French.
It's just my default. I don't know. Anyway, we're back. And how are we all?
As cultured as ever.
Doing good. It's finally summer.
Is it?
Well, the heat is definitely
not
approaching.
But it feels like summer. Like Weezer sang.
Summer.
As
Yes.
Weezer would
As Weezer
say.
predicted.
I listen
Yeah.
to that
Feels
song
like it.
today. Still slaps.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, there's always like there's a moment when you go outside, right? And it's like British summer when everyone is wearing shorts, even if it's, even like there's a slight breeze still. The sun's out. Everyone's got their legs out.
It pisses me off.
You're wearing shorts right now, my man.
No, I mean, it pisses me off when I wear shorts
Oh.
and then I go outside and it's like, oh, there's a breeze.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
the sun goes away and you're like, well, why did you do that to me?
Mm.
Yeah, well, that's the British weather. It's a bit of a cocktail, to be honest.
It is a bit.
Mm.
Then what do I
Hate to
do?
say
What am I supposed to do about it? I can't
Yeah, you can't
do
just
anything.
go back, not
Yeah, I
have...
can't just change. Honestly. Pack
You have to
jeans.
pack for all
oh
occasions.
my god. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, this is the weird interim between like summer and summer.
Yeah. Pre-summer.
Yeah, happens in the autumn as well, though, doesn't it? Where it's like cold in
Pre-summer.
the morning and then it's
Yeah, warm in the day.
yeah,
Or
it's
warm in the
horrific.
mornings and cold in the day.
Yeah, shame really. But
Yeah.
alas,
I have some explaining to do
for what?
for why I spoke Italian instead of French. I think it's because I'm going to Italy. And
What was that?
I
Is that the segue?
That's the segue. I booked a holiday to Italy and I said to you guys, should I book a holiday to Italy? And you were like, yeah, go on. And I did it immediately. And now I'm terrified
No, I
because
think,
I have no idea what I'm going to do.
I think it's a baller move. I don't know. You might just have to wing it, you know?
Yeah,
like
I'm
when you
gonna
get there,
have
I
to,
don't know.
Point out you're going by yourself as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm going by I thought that was kind of implied by the whole spur of the moment type thing. Yes, on my own. And I hope I said, yeah, I'm kind of like nervous about it because I've never been on holiday on my own before. And everyone was like, why the fuck are you like nervous? What's the matter with you? And I was like, what do you...
I think that's pretty.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
was
a
like-
pretty.
yeah, everybody I told about it, apart
standard
from you
thing.
guys, were like, what's wrong with you?
I don't get that.
Why
though.
are
I
you
think
nervous?
it's terrifying. Like my sister went to New York by herself, and I hated that idea because like it's really far away, and like
Yeah, it's
I know,
far.
I know Italy's not like super
It's
far,
across the sea.
but like think about it this way as well. Like if you go to a country where the native language also isn't English,
You're fucked.
pretty much. I went to fucking Valencia a couple years ago, and if I wasn't with my family, I don't know how I would have survived because no one over there basically speaks English.
I think they'll speak English
They might do
in
over-
Italy.
It depends. Yeah, it depends where
Verona.
you go.
You know, or is it North Italy? I think it's like North. Near Milan, I think.
Yeah, I
Or
think
is
a
it
lot of
near
them do
I don't know.
speak both, like dual out.
Weast? Is it Weast?
Weast?
Somewhere, one of
Weast?
those. It's one of those in that sort of region. But you know, I think you're hard pressed to go abroad to a place in like Europe and have them not speak English
Yeah.
a bit. I think it helps. I could speak a little bit of Italian. I could probably make my way around, but
Mm.
I don't think I could have like full on conversations with people.
No, you might be able to. You might be able to do what I was kind of doing, where I was just kind of, like it's the key phrases, and then you say
Mickey, I'm a
something like,
Max, and
"Can
you're
you?"
like, okay.
I don't speak said language, and then a lot of them are, oh, you can go English, please, or something. And if they reply back to you in English, then you know you got a winner.
Just say anglais, and they'll be like, all right,
Anglais, s'il vous plaît.
all right, mate.
That works in every.
Mm. Yeah, I think going to be a good one. I have to leave the night before I go.
Yeah, what's
I
the
have to like
plan?
go to the airport. I have to get a coach to the airport at 9 p.m.
Right.
from where I
Yeah.
live,
Yep.
and then go to Stansted and get there at 1 a.m.
Or just
and
like
wait
camp out for
10 hours
10.
Before I can get my plane. That'll be fun.
Good luck.
Just sleep.
Oh, to sleep on
In
the
the-
coach. There's
yeah.
a change on the coach as well.
Is there?
That's annoying. I think so. They change it like London or something.
Oh
Somewhere
yeah,
in
that's
London.
that's normally what happens, like
Yeah.
Victoria or something. Is
That's what I
usually
think is
the-
gonna fuck me.
Yeah. Oh, what, getting off and
Yeah. Then like I'll be abandoned in,
Why? How long
London.
is it? How long's the change, or is it like?
I don't know, like 20 minutes or something.
Mm,
I just worry that like, I'm gonna miss it. I worry with every connection that I'm gonna miss the connection
that's all.
and
That's
then be abandoned
always.
and not.
Yeah.
It would be It'd be worse to probably be worse to like miss a connection when I'm abroad.
Yeah,
and, like,
of course.
never be able to go back.
I guess
that's not what's going to happen.
I guess if there's one saving grace of having to wait 10 hours is that if you did miss a connection, you have 10 hours to get there from London.
Well, exactly.
So it's not so bad.
I don't like the walk.
Just walk from Victoria, you should be all right.
Oh, God.
I actually don't know how far that would be. I don't even
That
want
might
to
be
think
10
about
hours. That might be. I don't know. I don't know where Stansted is. I've never been there.
I think it's outside of London.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how far it would be to walk. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it,
no.
but...
So you're making me worried now. You're worrying me, and I thought it was a nice thing that I was doing, but no, I'm going to die. I'm probably going to be sex trafficked.
You're definitely not going to be sex trafficked. You'll be fine.
You say that now.
I mean, yeah, you can.
But we don't know what these people get up to. We just don't know.
Yeah, sure, you can. You could say you told you so later, but I mean...
No, that's the beauty of being sex trafficked, is you don't get to tell anyone I told you so.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully it doesn't rain. That would suck majorly.
Yeah, imagine the 1 week you go away, and it's like British weather.
Well, we were going to go to like Cornwall, but then, I don't know, just it's hard to make plans with other people, I guess.
Especially with the sheer amount of people.
Yeah, with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like trying to... I don't know, you always have that one friendship group that you meet up with like once every 2 years because that's the only time anyone's free.
Yeah.
I have quite a few of those, actually. I never see anyone now.
No.
For this very reason.
Yeah, one of my mates earlier asked if I wanted to go to Montenegro later in the year, and he's already like set up a group chat. He's already started to look into it and everything. So
Yeah, they're like mad avid travellers. Like they're well experienced. Like if my sister was going to be like, let's go to Albania in like 3 weeks' time, she'd have that shit down because she's so well travelled. She knows what she's doing.
That's
but
what
if
I'm
I
hoping
was to
is
do
going to
it,
happen.
it wouldn't be good.
Like I go to Italy and then I'm come back and I'm like, I have the bug. I waste all my money on going to different places.
Oh my God. I mean, I think that's actually what happened to my sister, to be fair.
Yeah, you going to Italy and like a few of my mates went to France not that long ago. It's kind of made me want to go elsewhere.
See, I haven't had that really, but I saw someone.
Not had the bug.
I saw someone on Instagram that I know went to Japan recently, and that filled me with such a jealous rage because that's one of the only places I actually want to go.
Yeah, I've only been abroad twice in my whole life, and the last time was like 9 years ago. So I want to go somewhere.
I mean, it probably would be good to go traveling.
Reaching 30, want to make the most of it before I get old.
Oh,
don't get to do it anymore because Darcy's tied you down.
Yeah.
And I'm older. I'm old. I'm already reaching that pinnacle, man.
Well, you don't want to go anywhere.
No, I mean, I've honestly never been interested in traveling. It's just not something that I've ever like really wanted to do. But like, of course, if someone goes, "Oh, you want to go here?" I'll be like, "Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool." But I've never I've only had an itching to go to like 3 or 4 places. Everywhere else is just kind of like okay, cool, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Like some people love traveling, but I'm not really bothered. I think I might be one of a very like minute group of people because everyone wants to travel, don't they? But I'm like I'm in the smallest group of people that don't really give a shit.
I wasn't really too bothered until like maybe a year or so ago. Now I was like, I feel like I need to do something.
You saw me going on all these wild holidays without you.
Yeah,
I have a feeling I might change my mind in a couple of years' time when I've hit like my peak midlife crisis or something. I've gone, my God, I've done nothing with my life. Let's go see the Tibetan mountains or some shit like that. I don't know. Until then, it's whatever.
Change your mind when I send you a bunch of videos of me living it up in Verona.
To be fair, I have been to Italy and it was very, very nice.
Yeah, I've been to Italy a couple of times, but I just always want to go back.
It is one of those places that you probably would want to go back. Like I've been to Spain twice. And I love Spain, but I just don't. I think Europe just isn't one of those places that I give too much of a shit about. Because I think if I'm going to travel, I want to go like all out. Like I want to go somewhere like
Africa.
chuck me to Thailand or Bali or
you
bloody
voted leave,
America or something. Like chuck me somewhere. I didn't actually, but I voted leave so I could get a better deal to Australia.
Yeah, all our deals are out of the window now.
Yeah.
It's so much money to go abroad.
Yeah, don't you have to?
I didn't realise.
Don't you need to book a visa now as well? I could be wrong. I don't remember. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you have to book a visa to go to Europe now.
If you want to live there, right?
No, if you want to travel there.
as well.
What the fuck?
Because we're not in the EU anymore.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you have to. Oh, good thing we fucking told him then.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was
book a
cushy.
visa.
Shit. I had to do that. I'm going to write that down in my notes. Book a visa.
It's actually
You might want to get
it's
on it
actually bullshit.
ASAP because it can take a while, I think.
I know. Okay. God damn. Jesus Christ. Now I'm worried. Brilliant.
No,
now I'm scared.
No, I wouldn't
Now I'm
worry
really
about
fucking
it.
scared, actually, and you've thrown me off.
I wouldn't worry about it because there might be some cases where you might not need it.
I'm going to have to Google this immediately.
Yeah, I think you should actually, because I'm under the impression you did need a visa, but I don't.
Yeah, I thought you
I'm
did.
not 100% on it though.
Do I need a visa to go on holiday
I need you to Google it for your benefit,
to
really.
Italy? This is
I don't
fucked.
know. I actually.
You can travel to countries in the Schengen area. What the fuck does that mean? For up to 90 days in any 180-day period without a visa.
Schengen.
Yeah, this is yeah. So you guys got me worried for nothing.
Oh, okay.
Visa
So it doesn't
required. This is
matter.
on the government website. This is a PSA for anybody who's hoping to travel to Europe in the Schengen area.
Right.
What the fuck? Wait, I'll go look this up. What is the Schengen area?
I have no idea what that means.
Now it's taking me to a PDF. The Schengen area, Europe without borders. There's a picture of a man and
Borders.
2 children.
What, like Ireland or something?
What is that? What is that photo?
That is the
That's
worst.
very
That is
strange
the
looking.
area.
That is the
That's him.
scariest photo I've
Schengen
ever
area.
seen.
When you get into the Schengen area, you are greeted by these 3 individuals. Okay, the Schengen area.
Yeah. What does it mean?
It says non-Schengen EU states. Okay, EU Schengen states. Italy is in it. That's all I need to know.
Okay, then that
We
doesn't
are
matter.
not in. We are a non-Schengen EU state.
What we are.
Yeah, so we're not in the Schengen.
Oh, okay. So
Area.
people need a visa to come to us, but we don't
Yeah.
need a visa to go
I
to
knew
them.
it.
I
knew
mean,
it. If you are traveling to Italy and other Schengen
That's
countries
mad.
without a visa, make sure your whole visit is within the 90-day limit.
I'm going to write what is
There we go.
Schengen.
I'm okay. I can erase that from my notes now, and we can get on with the podcast. I hope this
Oh.
has been a valuable lesson to everyone.
I've actually learned something quite interesting there.
Become educational.
Yeah.
Well, that's all.
Interesting.
It's all downhill from here, because we're not trying to educate anyone from this point on forward. Go and
That is true.
listen to your other podcasts for that. We are talking about
Travel
movies
podcast.
we have no credentials for. So
true.
let's
we
talk
crack.
about some movies, I suppose, as this is the movie podcast.
No, we're the travel podcast now.
We watched some movies.
Like we did.
Very recently for this episode, there was a new movie that came out, and there was some old movies that came out. But we're going to talk about the new movie first, and that is Ari Aster's new one, Beau is Afraid. His follow-up to his
Others.
culty hit, Midsommar, and others.
Other.
And other.
Just the other one.
Hereditary.
What?
Yeah, that's the one. I said
What
it
did
wrong.
you say?
That's how I said it.
I swear to God, I heard. I don't know why. I thought you said Bridge to Terabithia, but also Hereditary at the same time.
He could have done that.
Bridge to Hereditary.
Hereditary to
Yeah, I know. It's the way I said it. I would put a D in the middle of the word, so I just ran with it.
That film was pretty traumatizing, to be fair. So
yeah.
I
What
think
the
I
hell?
watched
We're
it
gonna talk
like
about that
once.
one
I
time.
don't. No, I don't.
That's on the next episode. Bridge to
nah, that film
Terabithia.
sucks.
What?
Sucks.
What do you mean it sucks?
It's a shit movie.
How could it possibly be shit?
Don't get at me.
It traumatized a generation.
It
Doesn't mean
actually
it's
did,
good.
to be honest. Everyone talks about it in that way, like, oh God, do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
No positive affirmations for this movie.
Everyone was so scared watching that. Anyway, speaking of being scared and afraid, Beau is Afraid
He's scared.
with Joaquin Phoenix. Kind of horror comedy, I suppose. Is it supposed to be like a horror? Yeah, it's fuck it. It's
I
supposed to
don't
be
think it's
horror.
meant to be a horror, but it's pretty. You can
It's like
tell
a
it's
drama.
by a horror
Dark,
director.
yeah.
It
Dark
feels
drama.
like it's a dark comedy.
If he was trying to get away from horror, this is not the way he has achieved it. This is like one of the scariest movies of his I've seen. This might be the scariest movie of his I've seen.
It is pretty mind bending.
100% it's a horror movie. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I've had nightmares about everything that happens in this movie. It scared the shit out of me. Just the way he like goes around and things happen to him. It's like being in a dream, like in a nightmare, and like he'll interact with people and they'll be like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Or just,
I think he described it as like a nightmare comedy. I think like the whole point is it's meant to feel like a nightmare.
It does. It does.
Mm.
It's wacky, man. It's wacky. It's one of those. One of those that I feel is probably very polarizing because it's so like metaphorical, man.
It's
so much to read into. It's not like a straight narrative, you know. It's what would we compare it to? Like those ones?
I've compared it to like some Odyssey or some
fucking Synecdoche, New York. It was like Synecdoche, New York.
I felt it was like a mixture of like Synecdoche, New York, or like Brazil or something like that, like a Terry Gilliam sort of thing.
I saw a review where someone compared it to Annette.
Yeah, kind of.
Sort of, yeah.
I only flagged that one up because I thought it was quite an interesting take because I hadn't seen anyone else compare it to that.
It's got vibes. It's got the vibes.
Yeah, the weird
Definitely
vibes.
does have vibes.
Absolutely weird vibe.
Yeah. I thought it was very good though.
Yeah, I had a good time with it.
I enjoyed it a lot as much as I'm not leaping to go see it again because I don't want to like put myself under that much pressure.
For 3 extra hours.
It does pound you into the ground. Yeah,
it does,
it's like
doesn't it?
It's 3 hours long. Jesus Christ. It's so long. It's like this epic Odyssey type deal that you're going on. I got out of it. I was like, what the fuck, man? I wanted to see like if there was like something after the credits, but everybody had left and then the people who cleaned the theatre came in and they were like, get out of here. It's not like technically over. It's still going.
I think we were sitting in there for at least a good couple, like 3 or 4 minutes after it finished because I was just sitting there going, wow, what?
I think everyone was kind of like that. Everyone was like, what the fuck just happened?
Like,
mate, literally as soon as the credits started, like bang, people got up.
Oh, we had people leave about half an hour before it finished or something. It was really random. They just got up and they just bolted. They were like,
there's like one scene where I feel like it's definitely gonna, if you're not really enjoying the movie, it will like just completely like make you leave. It will like you'll just not connect with anything from there on.
I mean, I still don't know. Like, there's films, right? And I do this all the time on the podcast. I'll sit here and I'll go, I don't know what I thought of that. But legitimately, if you haven't seen this movie, you have no grounds to understand why I don't know what is this movie. Like, I read these reviews, right, and I'm agreeing with the people that say it's shit, but then I'm also agreeing with the people that say it's great. So I'm like, I don't know who I am or where I fall. So I haven't even rated it because I didn't even think about it. I'm not even gonna rate it because I don't have conclusive findings.
I did kind of love it, and I do think it's a great movie. But I also completely understand people's criticisms. Like, I can kind of see where everyone's coming from, whether they're like completely for the movie or completely against it. I think it is such a. It's not like black or white. It's
very interpretable.
It's very interpretable.
And some people just think it's like I don't know. They're just like, oh, he's just taken it too far. He's just thrown ideas at the wall and none of the ideas make any sense. And I mean, it's definitely a movie of parts. Can I say it's of parts? Maybe
kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a movie with loads of set pieces.
I do think that, like, honestly, my peak enjoyment was just before he meets that family. Just before and then. After that, I'm kind of like, I dip in and out of interest throughout the rest of it. But I didn't really like the last parts at all. So it just depends on like where you're going with it. I guess.
Me, up until he like left the family and went into the forest and stuff, I was like completely in love with the movie, like considering like almost like a masterpiece. From that point on, it was kind of hit or miss for me. There was some bits that were like, oh, that was like really interesting. That's a lot of fun. And there was other bits where I was like, that's not that great. That's a bit silly.
I mean, there was loads of really stupid stuff in it, but I think that was meant to be part of like the comedic aspects of it, I suppose. But then if I'm honest, I don't think I really even laughed.
No.
But maybe that's a subjective thing though, isn't it? Because people find different things funny. But I just didn't think it was funny. It was actually like mind-bendingly horrific to watch. Like, my brain was like melting the whole time. Like, it was like anxiety-inducing. Like, what's funny about that? It's an actual nightmare.
It was like torture. It was like
it's like a fever dream.
It was like somebody had like put all the worst parts of me into a movie, and like everything that I hate about myself is like in this movie, and this man embodies everything. Which I guess is sort of comforting to know that clearly this is something that Ari Aster thinks about too, or like what a lot of people
like
think about themselves.
Yeah,
because this guy is a fucking drip, man. Like,
mate, he's what I'd like to call insufferable.
He's a bozo.
Yeah, like, the thing is, I don't even hate the character himself, because like,
no, I like him, and that's what pisses me off. I hate that I sympathise with him and I want him to succeed. because it embodies everything that I don't like about how I picture myself when I like talk to other people or I interact with other people. I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot. Like, why would you do these things? And like, why would you think these? I'm like, this is exactly how I think.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me.
I just get really confused because I almost had like the opposite thing. I was sitting there thinking, I actually find it really hard. Like he comes across as me as someone who's like, like he's proper anxious about stuff. Obviously, kind of the shtick behind it. But like, even me, right, was sitting there thinking, nobody is like this. I don't know anybody who is actually like that.
It's very heightened.
Yeah.
But I think it's 'cause it was
probably
about
exaggerated.
a very specific part of the human consciousness.
Yeah. I found like the first like hour where it's like just basically him in his apartment really relatable.
Yeah.
And I said that to Darcy and she was like, what, how? She didn't understand it.
I don't. Well, I understand like bits and pieces because I was right. So after we left, obviously I was doing my little reviews. I was going through well, what other people saying about this? Because this is whack out. And there were parts of it that were like, oh yeah, this is how sometimes I feel like when people walk too close to me in the street or I'm in the city late at night. And I thought, no, actually that bit is relatable. Like I get that because obviously you never know the intentions or like the actions of what someone's going to do. Like what's it? Birthday stab boy or whatever his name was. Like that guy, like that is the guy that you fear the most when you're like leaving the house. You think any minute now, birthday stab boy is going to come.
It's birthday boy stab man.
Whatever.
Actually.
He'll beat you to death. You get what I'm saying, right? Those bits I found relatable, but the rest of it, I was like, I actually don't get it. Like, I don't feel this way. But then, maybe that's just
Although it was a lot about like guilt and blaming yourself for things that happen in your life. I really liked that first act where he was like in his apartment and like the people were playing music really loudly and he was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But he didn't do anything about it. And then somebody like slips a note under his door saying, "Can you turn your music down?" And he was like, "Well, I don't even have my music on." And then they keep slipping notes under the door. I was like, this is so like exactly my angle. That's exactly how it hooks me.
I guess that bit is also quite relatable because if you've ever, I mean, well, we don't currently, but I used when I was in student halls. If you live in that one little complex bit that was always really loud, you were getting the blame, right? Even if it wasn't you that's doing it. And I feel like that's actually quite relatable. Because imagine going to bed and having like, oh my God. Yeah, no, it's too.
Not to that extent. Obviously, his walls were shaking, but
I mean, I actually have lived to that degree because I used to have uni neighbours next door to my house, and the actual walls would like be thumping with Arctic Monkeys fucking music all night. So I do relate to that, but I've never actually gone out there and been like, just a note under the door or whatever.
I would never do that. Absolutely not. That happened to me when I was like, I'll just get earplugs. Like I would rather not talk to the people.
Yeah,
I would just rather not.
But that's like
there's no way.
In that part of the whole thing, like how many problems you could solve if we would just go out and speak to people, but we just don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just why would we?
It's the British sensibility again.
Oh my God, it is, isn't it? Or like, or like if you do slip a letter under the door, it's like the most passive aggressive thing ever. Like, please, hi neighbour, I appreciate your music with like like really condescending and patronising smiley faces.
Killer breakdowns, bro. But could you perhaps turn it down a tad?
just a tad.
Just maybe 3 or 4. Yeah.
3 or 4 decibels.
I guess we can talk about spoilers. If we get into plot points. But I thought like there's always like I have a constant nightmare where like people just come into my home and I can't get them out. And then when I try to get them out, they act like I'm the asshole. And that was like in this movie where they all came in. He like accidentally left the door open,
and everyone started
coming in, and he had to watch from outside as they destroyed his home, and he couldn't even like go in and be like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Not that he even would have. Who knows? Who knows what he would have done?
Oh, so
that was like Mother. That was like that movie.
Oh, I actually thought that bit where he's in the shop was actually quite like, because you ever had that fear of like not being able to pay for something, even if you've already started. I don't know why you would start drinking or eating something before you've paid for it, but like in this instance, right? Imagine, like you're like 10p short. You know, in a normal circumstance, a cashier's going to go, oh, fuck, it's like 10p, right? But in this movie, it was like,
like keeps giving him more change, and he's like, it's still out like a couple of quid. It's like, oh, here, it's some more, still out 30 cents. It's like, oh my god, it was exactly the kind of stuff that I've been through.
Yeah, like it kills you off a little bit because you're like, oh my god. I think it's just like that stuff is too relatable.
A point of reference for yourself, being like, yeah, I'm quite put together. I can go into a shop and buy a bottle of water and everything's fine. But there's a simple transaction, you can't even do it, and that's so much about like how I think about how I live my life. It's like, why can't I do these basic tasks? Why can't I do this basic thing? I'm having a thing recently, and I don't know if like it's just happened recently or I'm just starting to notice it. But like, I really try to avoid bumping into people on the street, but it feels like I can't do it, so I have to swerve out of the way from people on the street. Mm.
What,
because
like,
they just like won't move out of the way, or like strangers, or like they're coming one way, I'm going the other, and I just like, oh fuck, I gotta like walk into the road or something, or like I'm not looking where I'm going. I don't know.
See, this is it. Now that Max has mentioned it, I'll go out tomorrow and I'll be like, oh my god, people on the street. Actually, that did actually happen to me today. To be honest, I was walking, and the thing is, when people walk through, like traffic lights, they tend to have this way of, depending on where the traffic lights are. You're going like straight across the road, but people will be like coming at you.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst.
That happened to me today, and this woman was like looking at me, like she was dead clocking me in the eyes as she was bumping into me, and I was looking at her as I was walking away.
You have to anticipate where the people on the other side are walking. You have to anticipate where the people next to you are walking.
How
so you
quickly they're going to do it. Yeah.
And how quickly they're going to do it. Some of these people are on bikes, so you're like, what the fuck? What if I like walk into somebody on a bike and then they've fallen off their bike, and then like you're holding up the cars who are at the traffic lights and they're going to kill you?
Yeah, like I've done that before, well, the bike thing, but I've never actually knocked anyone off their bike, but I've like almost like, you walk in front of it, but you don't see them.
Yeah.
So they come at you and you're like walking through and you have to run. Like you have to bolt the rest of the way, or otherwise you're getting knocked down by this bike that's going at like, it's probably not going any faster than like 10 miles per hour, but you're fucked.
I think about that maybe twice a day.
It happens too often. When I was working at the bottom of the road, every night that would happen, because there's like those crossings at like the edges, and like you can't see anything around them too often. Like that kind of stuff is relatable.
Yeah, that's what this movie's doing to me. While I was watching it, I was like, for fuck's sake. And I do think it's about like this guilt and this self-imposed sense of guilt, where he's lost his mother and he's just sort of standing there like, well, what the fuck? Because he was just talking to her and now she's dead. He's trying as hard as he can to get to her, but he can't get to her. And it's just this like guilt that racks up. And I think probably we've all been in the situation where we're like, well, I just could have been putting more into it. I could have been putting more into these relationships, and now I can't. So it's like this odyssey of this man trying to get to his mother's funeral that ultimately it doesn't really mean, like, it doesn't matter if he makes it to the funeral. Really, it doesn't matter. But he's taken on this blame, and he just blamed himself over and over and over again. And it culminates in, I think I really like that last act where he's like on trial for being a bad son. And it's like all this guilt manifesting. She's like, well, when you were age 7, you fucking, you invited your friends over and you looked through my panty drawer and I was just out buying you a nice present. So how about that? You suck. You're a terrible son. All this stuff. I was like, yeah, oh God, no, I can't deal with this. And it's just like this huge mass of people just sort of staring down at him, being like, you're guilty. You're a bad son for all these things that you didn't. It's just carelessness. You didn't think about it when he was younger, or he didn't think about it now. And they're like they're like the most like minuscule things as well. Like people don't tend to think about, but that's like the thing when you have like anxieties and stuff in it. Like you will literally nag at the littlest thing for like nothing. Like you'd be like, God, why did I say that thing like 3 weeks ago? I bet everyone thinks about that. It's like no one ever thinks about it past. Only you think about what you've done, right? Normally, depending on what it is, right? So like you'll eat away at yourself thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I did that stupid thing. Like they must think I'm stupid. But like they only give a fuck about what they're doing, right? So everyone's like eating away at themselves constantly usually. And it's just like, ooh, it's like, I don't know. It was like, watching it was just like painful. Is painful even the right word? Like I'm just sitting there going, oh, do you know what? I just really want him to make it over there because like, I don't even give a fuck if he like does anything. He's just like, if he's just there, then
the tension will go away, because it was just so tense.
I don't know if you felt quite different about the character at the end of it. Because I thought I kind of did almost a 180 on him, where I thought like maybe he was actually kind of a dick. Whereas mother is kind of like, now the mother will tell her story, her side of the story. And it was like, all I did was give, and you did nothing but take, and you did nothing for me, and all this, and now, and then like, now I'm dead or whatever. It's like this manifestation of his own guilt. And I felt like at the end, where I had been rooting for him the whole time, I felt like it was sort of about justice for this mother character, because we've so often in the movie told that she doesn't really do, she was like mean.
Yeah.
She's like a mean person. And when she blows up at him, you're like, well, that's fair enough because she's a mean person. But then she tells her side of the story and you're like, oh, but he was like, maybe he could have reciprocated more, he could have done something more for her, even when he got older, you know? So I think that was like a really good ending. I thought, as much as I would have liked to have stayed until the very end of it, I don't know what it would have done for me, but it was...
I think that was just it, though.
It was an interesting ending, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Like,
it was like the wall.
Yeah, like
the trial from the wall.
I don't know. Where I feel like the actual like ending, like did
where he gets sarcophagus.
Like literally, I just kind of, I remember just sitting there, and I didn't really like do anything for a couple of seconds, and this guy was turned to Chris and went, "Never seen anything like that before. That was bloody incredible." I was like, okay. Like the whole place was silent, and everyone was getting up except us three, who were just like sitting there, thinking like, "What the hell's just happened?" Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Chris thought that, but I was like when it ended, I kind of did this like almost like sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God like, for that. Like
you let out a breath you didn't know you've been holding in the whole time.
Like, I didn't need that.
God,
like,
Jesus Christ!
It just.
Between all this anxiety, the penis monster in the attic,
the that
was the point where the people left.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, like
knew it.
Yeah, like you see them get up, and I thought, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, as soon as they left, I was like, I completely understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was bizarre at best.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
It was so fucking funny.
So weird.
Oh dear, penis monster in the attic.
I still don't know.
Even like that, I don't know if I have like really anything bad to say about the movie because it's so conceptual.
Yeah,
and like I think that's why people don't like it. That's exactly my type of joint.
That's the thing, though. I think it's up to, if it's so interpretable, then it's neither a bad nor a good movie, in my opinion. That's why I think I can't form any real opinions on it, because it's so like.
The only thing I might say about it is that it's maybe too much. It's maybe like too much, and it's too long.
I think it could have been cut down a bit.
It's way too long. Like I was sitting there feeling
like 4 hours at one point as well.
I just don't think this movie had, and it sounds really bad because it's not the fact that I think it's like aimless or anything, because it obviously like does go through quite a lot of like things to unpack, so to speak, but it was really unnecessary to be as long as it was. Like it just, I don't think it had a real footing to be as long as it is. Like, you see films and you think that is justifiable. Yeah. I didn't think this was justifiable.
Like two things happened for the majority of the movie, and then in the last maybe half hour, a bunch of shit happens.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it just didn't feel warranted, in my opinion. Like, I think they could have. They could have easily have condensed it down into a more digestible. Kind of runtime. Especially for people especially a lot of people that didn't like the movie. They might have gotten a bit more out of it if it wasn't as long, because it wouldn't have been so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it straight up. It's probably going to hurt the rewatchability. Yeah, I don't want to watch it again anytime soon. I when we left, because I didn't really feel well the day that we went. To be fair, I was like really out of whack. Apparently, I had a migraine. I was asking the girls about it afterwards. I had a migraine, didn't realise. I came out and I said maybe I should watch it again because I just wasn't feeling right. But the more I think about it, the less I want to watch it again, because I don't have the capacity for it. Yeah.
And I've already seen it once.
You have to be in the right mind.
Yeah, and it was a real hellscape as it was, so I don't need it again. But I mean, granted, I admire it. As like some,
it's ballsy.
Yeah, like someone went out there and said, "I'm going to make this movie," and then so I went out to see the girls for dinner afterwards, right? And they said, "I've never heard of that movie," and I said, "I can't even tell you what it's about." So the conversation stopped there. It
that's
died.
Kind of what I said when people asked at work about it.
Yeah, it died. Yeah. The conversation died so quickly.
It was. I'm
like, it's
It was weird and long.
Yeah, I think what I said was that I liked it a lot, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone because it's too out there.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit confusing because there's like two camps of people who love it and people who hate it, right? But I don't know who this movie is for because I wouldn't recommend it to anybody I know either. So I think it might just be a basis of go see this thing and decide whether you like it because I think it's going to be very much an internal evaluation about whether you like it, I think.
Yeah. I think if you like things that are a bit more abstract and non-linear, then it's probably for you. If
you're like, I'm thinking of ending things, you're going to love this shit.
I've never seen it.
It's one of those.
I probably wouldn't like that then, would I?
Like things. Yeah,
I think you would.
Well, I don't know.
Like there's other movies.
Yeah, I guess
I did, yeah. This one, I think this one just, maybe this one was just too out there for me. Like, because I'm like, oh, the wackier the better. And then someone finally does the wackier the better. And I sit there and I think, I have no idea.
Yeah. This is too wacky.
What is happening? It's too wacky now. We're drinking paint and we've got Dance Gavin Dance and pup posters on the wall. I don't know what's happening anymore. Like,
there's a Dance Gavin Dance poster on the wall.
Yeah, you know that scene where they're drinking the paint?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's Dance Gavin Dance on this side and there's pup on that side. And
so
I was like,
fucking funny.
Chris, what the hell's that?
Yeah, that was really good.
That was so good. Oh
I
my God.
I like that bit actually.
Because what do you do? What the fuck do you do? I've had nightmares about that exact situation.
What about people drinking paint?
Well, it's to that extent, you know? Well, like, you're just there and someone's like, I'm going to do this. And then they do it.
Yeah,
and then somebody comes in, they're like, what the fuck did you do? I'm like, I don't fucking do it.
Oh, okay, right. I mean, I get that. I thought you meant like, drinking paint. I was like, I've never actually thought about it.
That'd be very strange, wouldn't it?
Well,
that'd be very creepy.
Like this movie's just full of your nightmares.
Yeah.
I think it's like someone like got Max a dream journal, but someone went into his like.
This is my exact nightmare. I have constant nightmares about like I'm got to be at a place by a certain time, like everything's getting in my way and I can't be there.
Oh, I get dreams
exactly
like that actually, or I get dreams of like similar weird shit, like like you're in one place but then you're in another, but you need to get to another place, but you never really get there because you're too busy doing other shit. Yeah, like
usually I have no conclusion.
No, you wake up and you're like, oh, did I ever get there?
I guess I didn't get there.
Yeah, like, and time isn't even a thing in dreams either. So like, have I been dreaming for days? Have I been dreaming for weeks? Like, how long has this been going on for?
Well, same for this movie. Like,
I
couldn't tell you how long it took him.
Yeah, I don't know.
To go through all this, I don't know.
He said it was a couple of days, but what does he know?
It took a few years.
Yeah, like, what does he know about it?
He also went on that mini odyssey where he turned into an old man and he was looking for his family. Yeah. And I thought that was all part of it.
Yeah, like I'm still trying to get my head around the whole idea of like he's meant to die at climax and then doesn't.
That was so funny.
Yeah. I was like,
this is so fucking funny.
I thought that's how it was going to end. I thought he was going to die like, there.
As he was having sex with that woman, he was like, "No, please, I'm scared of dying." Oh man, so good, so good.
I'm still confused. Like I don't know if people actually gotten this far into the pod, right? Is this something that like do I tell you to go and watch it, or like, I'm like I don't know.
Yeah, we've all been there.
I don't know, man.
We've all been there. It's just one of those movies where like, we've all been there. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Have I ever thought I was going to die? Probably not.
While you were having sex, and then like,
I don't know, probably
the
not.
other person dies instead of you, and rigor mortis sets in immediately.
I have never ever thought about that. I think this is the kind of movie that like unlocks fears, right? Like if you never had the fear of like dying during sex, you will now. That kind of thing. It's like
I have. I was like, I've been there, and I'm like, well, this is it.
Yeah, but
this is how it ends.
I was gonna say, but the thing with Max is that he actually does have a heart issues, like, as opposed to like
that's what makes it fun.
Some of the rest of the world,
crazy.
Any minute, Max can go.
Any minute now. That's what I'm always thinking. This is the one.
God.
Ratings then?
Sure, I guess so.
Out of penis monsters.
Yeah, cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
I did like the penis monster, I must say.
I didn't really have a lot to say about the movie because it's been a while since we watched it now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really
wasn't that long
remember it super well now.
It was 5 days ago.
Feels like a long time. But yeah, I thought it was a really well-made movie. I think it's going to be one that you have to watch a few times to really get everything out of. The fact that it's 3 hours is a bit off-putting, but I'll definitely watch it probably when it comes out on Blu-ray because I do love Ari Aster. As it stands, it's probably my least favourite of his movies, but still got quite a lot out of it. I give it 8 penis monsters out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was very haunting and scared the shit out of me. Scariest movie I've seen in a long time, honestly. And it's not really even trying to be like a horror type movie in the traditional sense. I guess that's how you scare people, is you show them parts of themselves that they have yet to truly understand or deal with. I think that it got to me quite a bit. I got out of there and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, right, all right, okay. That's, I don't know how to process that. So just go home. That's sort of how I felt walking out of God's Creatures or whatever that Paul Mescal movie was. Where I was like, oh, right, okay. It's worrying, man. It worried me like the whole time I was watching it. And it just really gets deep into your psyche. It's one of those. And I would watch it again, but not for a while. I probably wouldn't watch it again in the cinema. I don't have 3 hours to set aside
just to
for a
sit
movie
there
like this,
in a room,
just to sit there and be anxious and scared.
With other people.
Maybe later. Maybe later on. Maybe I'll get the Blu-ray. I will get the Blu-ray. It'd be a good one to get high to.
No, it wouldn't.
It would feel like you were there for years. Yeah. Like, that'll be one.
Absolutely not.
Got to do one of those. Ari Aster marathon. Can we do an Ari Aster marathon?
We could
do that now. Maybe in the future when it comes out.
Yeah, so Darcy won't watch Midsummer again.
Oh.
That is true, I won't.
That's up to you.
Just turn away during that opening scene and then you can watch the rest.
Or just fast forward it and I'll watch the rest.
Just fast forward.
I actually thought that movie was really good.
Yeah,
So, I was talking to Chris on this one because I was like, oh, Connor loves the idea that I hate this movie because I'll never watch it again, but I actually love the movie, but I just can't watch it again, as opposed to hating it.
8 penis monsters out of 10. And you're staying unrated.
Oh, 100%. There's no way I can rate a movie this complex.
It's so complex, man.
It's just almost like
so metaphorical, bro.
I reckon I'd probably watch it. I mean, I think the only way I'd watch it again is if I did what I did with Tar and I just have it on in the background and I kind of pay attention to it, but I'm able to fidget, move.
You sort of walk around a bit and you're like,
do what
he's an old man now.
Do what I've got to do. Yeah. I actually take in movies better that way as well for some reason.
Yeah.
Because like when I'm just sitting there staring at it, my mind like wanders away as well. So like there was a lot of the movie where I was just thinking about like my migraine. No. Instead of like focusing on what I was meant to focus on.
Well, that section when he was a kid was good as well. I really like that.
I thought he was going to be in it more actually. Yeah. Well, so Chris said that when we left.
He's on the poster.
Well, it's part of him.
And he looks like a CGI person.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, he does a bit, but he did a good job. Cool.
He did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do, and we are doing what we have to do by reviewing some Robert Bresson movies.
That's true.
He was a man from France, so sorry about that.
Why is it every time we talk about something French, Max just annihilates the French character?
3 movies by Robert. They were A Man Escaped, Lancelot of the Lake, or Lancelot du Lac, and The Devil, probably. Chris picked the first one that we watched. What was that? And, well, we already know, but take it away.
Yeah, so I picked his film A Man Escaped from 1956. It's a pretty minimalist movie. Not a lot goes on, but the basic plot is there's a guy,
a man.
He's the French resistance fighter during the Second World War. He gets captured and put into a prison, and the whole movie is just him trying to break out the prison.
Yes.
Do you what? that is the whole thing, isn't it? Really, you've said the whole plot.
Yep. It was like the Shawshank Redemption.
If it was the most boring movie ever made.
If it was just
it was just about him escaping.
Yeah, just him tunneling through the wall for an hour 40.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of respected that in a way. If I'm gonna go for breakout movies, because I actually do think that is like I think the story's pretty sick, right? Because I love Shawshank, right? So I'm like, oh yeah. Like that. That's a pretty cool premise. Shawshank. Yeah, it's a great premise.
Everyone's seen Shawshank.
I haven't.
You haven't?
Oh, I have. I've only seen it the once though, and I saw it quite late into the game.
Well,
but I'm sure you knew what it was about before you watched it. I'm sure you knew that there was a prison escape.
The poster.
What, Shawshank or this movie?
Shawshank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen in this movie. It's in the title.
No,
You can't
but-
say that. That's such a cop out. I knew you were going to say some bullshit like that. Me and Darcy thought this movie was so mid, and you're like, oh, it's actually pretty good. I liked it a lot. But like, you're always going to be like, well, what do you want from it? It's called A Man Escaped. A Man Escaped.
Okay,
Like,
you can't.
He did.
Yeah, no, you can't be doing this. You
a
can't
good
be.
movie that doth not make.
No, and like what makes it even worse is that you've just sat here now and said, "What did you expect from a movie called A Man Escaped?" And then have the gall to tell us that movie was really
I didn't
great.
say what did you expect, and I also didn't say it's
Did you
great.
say it was really great? I don't think you did.
No, I'm sorry.
I like the movie.
Well, you don't have the goal to tell us this movie's a masterpiece. How dare you?
Oh, now we're
Yeah,
adding
no.
the word masterpiece into this.
I don't think it's a great movie. I did like it. I mean, I'm the only one of us that likes it.
It was dull as shit, man. Nothing fucking happens. They don't even like try to make you care about this character or tell you what he is about. Like you just like, this guy wants to escape, and you're like, well, yeah, okay, but I need a bit more. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about any. He could have died like as soon as he escaped. I just would not have given a single shit.
Yeah.
Nothing mattered. Nothing mattered because they haven't built it up to make you care about the people you're watching. So it is just like watching a play-by-play of him making some rope. Now he's making a hook. Now he's got to take some chunks out of a door. It was like I should have just read an instruction booklet about how to break out of prison.
Yeah, this did kind of feel like if they just like videoed some. I don't even know, man.
Well,
It just didn't feel like anything.
it's based on a true story, and it's a complete retelling of his accounts. So, like, they basically adapted his story, like, 1-to-1, and had him on set to, like, basically tell them what actually happened.
So it's like
It's basically like a recreation of the real event.
yeah, it's kind of like like
Just show that on the news
a
then.
dramatization
Show
or
that on-
something.
Yeah, it's basically like a
Terrible
dramatisation.
CGI little clip on the news. That's what this was like.
I don't really get a lot out of it for something that I was like, oh, this is actually like a really cool idea. Like, oh, I want like. For some reason in my head, I was comparing it to Chicken Run, and I hate myself for this, right? But I was like, imagine how sick it was when Ginger got the spoon and she was doing the flip flop die, don't care if I die, or whatever the fuck that song was, right? And this guy's just like, I just took some chunk out the door today, and I thought, you're making a really cool idea, like escape prison, cool and badass.
This movie
making it boring.
wishes it could do even one iota of what Chicken Run did. Chicken Run shits all over this movie.
Like, and I feel really bad about it as well, because if this guy, you're right, I'm actually kind of livid now, knowing that it's a real thing, right? Because this guy did the coolest fucking thing ever. Right? Imagine being a prisoner of war, and he said, "Fuck that, I'm gonna go."
But that's
Deuces.
like all they did though. They were like,
Yeah.
okay, get this guy in, and they're like, you do this, and he's like, yeah, I did that. Yes, I did that. I did that. And
Like,
they're
how
like,
did you make it so
okay, there we
boring,
go. That's the movie.
though? All right, I know it can't all be like, Chicken Run and Hollyoaks. Like, I know there's not that much drama, but like, that's a cool. I keep saying it's cool, but like,
there could have been drama.
it is pretty cool though, and he just made it so bland. How do you make something so cool bland? How is that possible?
All the prisoners could have been like, hey, man, what no, you're trying to break out of the prison. It's not French, is it?
What was that?
And then he could have been like, oh, I'm not trying to break out of the prison. What do you hear there? And there could have been some tension in there, but there's not. He doesn't get caught. None of the guards suspect he's trying to break out. No one searches his room for a pencil. And there's nothing. There's no tension.
No, and
there's
like,
no driving force. You're just like, you're going to watch this man escape. And by the end, you're like, okay, all right, fine.
So I was waiting for, because I thought there was going to be some sort of like, I don't know, some tension or some sort of like subplot when, his cellmate is, the guy next door finds out he's escaping, and he's like, so you're escaping, huh? Cool. And that's it. That's where it ends. And I thought, oh, okay, there's no stakes in it. Like, he's not going to go and rat him out or...
No. Take me with you, or I'm going to rat you out. They could have said that.
Exactly, but no, not even... So apparently this guy's just like, you're going to escape. Cool. I'm going to stay here.
good luck with that.
Why
Mm.
was it like this? And then he gets the little French boy out with him, and he's like,
Yeah.
he left his jacket on the roof. I can't believe this. And it's like, that's the most dramatic thing that happens.
Like, here's this little French boy. This is where the tension shall begin. And when they're breaking out, you're like, this could be so tense.
Mm.
But I just didn't care whatsoever.
I found it really tense, to be honest.
Really.
There was only.
I mean, I didn't obviously I didn't really care about the character because they don't really develop the character,
Yeah.
which I feel like isn't really the point of the movie. But I still found it really tense. I thought it was a really well shot sequence. I thought it was edited together really well. All the use of like silence in those sequences were really great as well.
Now, the reason
Yeah,
why.
it's all technically
It's a
fine.
lot of like really great usage of like, I think the fact it's in black and white helps as well. Because like during the prison breakout scene, it's very, very dark.
It's pretty cool.
So there's very little lighting, but when there is lighting, it feels very purposeful.
I think
thought
more
that was
films
really
should
well.
be in black and white. But so now that I'm circling back to the beginning of this conversation, right? The main reason this film is not tense at all, right? Really, because you know what happens, right? A man escaped. You know exactly at the end of this movie what's going to happen. Oh, so he's in the yard now, and it's all tense. It's like, it's not though, is it?
No,
Like-
just because it's called A Man Escaped, you're not going. I would never assume that he was. He was definitely going to escape.
I definitely did, but I don't know whether that's just because I read it so literally. I read it as
Yeah, maybe.
definitely this man did this thing, right? Or some. Oh, I was going to say someone told me, but no
the
one
title
did.
of a movie and go, "This is what the movie's about."
No, but it just seemed
You read
too.
the title of Beau is Afraid and be like, "This is about Beau being afraid."
He was though.
Yeah, he was, but there was more to it.
He's
Well, with the
not.
Man Escaped, it's like, the title happens and nothing else.
No, but you know, I mean, like I was just like, well, I know he's going to do it, so I just wasn't feeling it but that's obviously because I preconceived the idea that he definitely had done it. So I was like, oh, well, it's not really tense because he's obviously he's gonna be fine in the end, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's just I already had preconceived that, but I guess that's,
I was happy that he escaped. Fair enough.
I was as well because
I was like,
he was obviously
alright,
there in the
fine.
first.
Good,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I was actually
I liked
happy when he
watching
did.
him make all the stuff,
Yeah.
taking his bed apart, making the rope. That was cool. Making the hooks. That was awesome. I like all the stuff that probably the guy told them, and he was like, "Here's how I made these hooks" or whatever. That was fun. But it's just everything around it. The story is boring. The characters are boring. The plot is boring. And everything surrounding it all is boring. I don't care about anything that's happening.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
it's
either
just-
really.
I enjoyed the individual parts of it. I enjoyed basically everything in his cell could be dismantled so easily, and also it could be made to suit his needs when he needed to escape. Like everything was there, like an escape room for him to try and make up some sort of makeshift escape kit, and that's all his cell consisted of in the end.
I mean, I actually thought that was kind of funny, but in the sense that, like, I don't know whether that was like a custom of like the 50s or 40s or 30s or whenever.
If we design his prison cells with like a small get out of jail free card in terms of like that comes in the form of you can break out of here if you really know your way around like folding twine together.
Well, what I was getting at there was the fact that most places probably would have done like a room search every now and again, right? Because that's what they do in most prisons, right? It's like custom, right? So they don't have things like knives and they get like drugs smuggled in and stuff. So I thought that was just custom, but not a single time I don't remember an officer even like once even like looking into the door frame, yet alone like, it's just, I just thought it was quite interesting that
amazing
like,
that no guards were posted outside their rooms in the night time.
They were just living life. Yeah. They could have just climbed out that window. I mean, they obviously couldn't because they're barred, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like the theory that if he had whacked that spoon enough times in the hot sun or something, he probably could have like melted a bar down. You know what I mean? It's like they just didn't care. They were like, yeah, go on then.
Apparently, they actually shot it in the like same prison and like used the same cells and everything.
Jesus, they took that guy back there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like PTSD worthy. Does he not go back to prison though for escaping prison?
What? No, he
No, 'cause
escaped.
he was a prisoner of war.
Yeah, war.
And they lost the war. So
Okay.
So he's cool.
He's
He was in
Good
there
for him,
for
I guess, yeah.
espionage, which is an objectively cool crime.
yeah,
I
true.
don't think you should be put in
that
prison
is
for.
true. Yeah.
If it's like awesome, like you should be fine.
See, this is what I mean. He gets put in prison for a cool ass crime and then breaks out, and that is badass, and it is real. And they made it so bland.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's actually that.
This guy's a legend.
That should be a criminal offence in itself. Making something so cool, so awful to watch. I was bored. How am I supposed to be bored of a man breaking out of prison with a spoon? That is sick.
I wasn't bored to tears. It did have enough to keep me going.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
That is not how I felt.
I did enjoy the movie, but I do think it is very repetitive, and that's my biggest problem with it.
That's why I was so bored.
I didn't even have a big issue of them not really developing the character, because I don't feel like the point of the movie is that. It's kind of just to see what he did and how he did it. I just
read a book.
The problem I had with it is like there's so many scenes where it's just him chipping away at this door.
Yeah, it did feel very much like
kind of need. I can see him like why you'd need like 1 or 2 scenes of that, but there's like there's like a good half hour of the movie where he's just chipping away at the door.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of accurate to the probably like the monotony of this guy actually having to do that, because he did that for like, what did he say, like 3 weeks, 3 months? I don't know how long he said he was doing it for, and I guess it's kind of accurate. But like, if I'm watching a movie, what's the point in it being a movie if I'm just gonna watch these like
I mean, they obviously
inconsequential scenes?
They did a lot. They did this exact thing, but way better in Shawshank Redemption. That's just exactly what this is, but with like a plot that's developed and characters you care about, and just more to it. There's more meat on the bone. But with here, it's like they have a concept, and that's all they're going with.
It is very like, I mean, I guess if I can give it anything, I guess it's going to be more of a accurate, true to life version of something like that. But doesn't mean it's fun to watch, though. If I'm totally honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wasn't fun for him to do. But like, the theory is if you're going to make
I can't imagine breaking out of prison is very fun, to be honest.
No, but what I mean is like,
that's what I was thinking. It's better make a kick-ass movie.
If you are going to make it into a movie, you want it to be like at least watchable. Like you wanted to have done it for.
Apparently, the guy also like kept the ropes and the hooks, and he like let them use it for the movie. Wow, the exact ropes he used when he broke out.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
See, now that is the most interesting thing about the movie so far.
That is hardcore metal.
I like that, actually. Yeah.
It took a lot, like, he only really had to get out of his cell. He only had to, like, chip away at the cell. But then everything else after that was, like, open to him.
Yeah,
he
he
could
found it
crawl
quite
out of
easy,
a window,
didn't he,
he
to be
could go
honest?
onto the roof. Like,
he just
there
walked
was a
out
wire
there.
that went from the roof of the prison over to the edge of the compound where he could, like, crawl across. It's like they wanted him to get out.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bit too contrived. It's a bit too convenient for me. Man escaped, so he did. We've got more to say about this one. There's
not really a lot to say about it, to be honest.
No,
it's a pretty simple movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not
very complex.
I'm glad he made it. Well, he made it out. I'm not glad Robert Bresson made the movie. I'm glad the guy made it out. In real life and in the movie, I suppose. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They'll go on their way.
But
that was it. That was like the only thought I had at the end of it. I was like, oh, they made it. The end.
Oh yeah, I was definitely glad. I was like, oh, cool.
I liked that the guy looked like Ian Curtis from Joy Division.
He did. that was part of my review, actually. Was that he did. Because that was the first thing I said. I was like, oh, he looks like Ian Curtis.
Yeah, I just read a review on Letterboxd. It was like, I'm glad Ian Curtis got out. I didn't think he'd make it.
He genuinely does look a lot like Ian Curtis.
Nice. Thanks, Ian. We're going to rate this one out of Joy Division.
Yeah, best band in the world.
For some reason.
Yeah, like I said, I did enjoy the movie. I think it's quite an interesting movie. I think the actual breakout at the end was quite tense, well made. But I do think it's a bit repetitive. I don't think I'd go back and rewatch it. But I would be interested to check out more of his older movies, because all the other movies we picked are like from later on in his career. So yeah, I give it like 7 Joy Divisions out of 10.
I'll give it 5 Joy Divisions out of 10 because I thought it could have been so much more interesting. But I do like the concept of it, and some of the stuff they did was pretty cool. But that was mostly technical, and then the props and stuff, and exploring how he got out, or how he made the ropes. That was sick. Yep.
I feel like I'm basically just gonna mirror everything that Max has just said. And also the guy looked like Ian Curtis, so that was hella cool. 5 Joy Divisions. Also loved the rating system. That was nice. a true testament.
The next Robert Bresson movie was the one that I picked from 1974, Lancelot of the Lake, or Lancelot du Lac. This one is about Lancelot of the Lake, and he goes back. He's been away or whatever, and he goes back to Camelot. I think this is what happens. I'm not reading like a synopsis, but I'm just going to wing it. That's what we do on the podcast. He goes back to Camelot, to King Arthur. He's one of the Knights of the Round Table, and this is about him and his affair with the Lady Guinevere. They're hiding their love affair, and then they get into all sorts of shenanigans, and I want to be with you, and she's like, it'll never work, Lancelot, but you're pretty hot. And they get into a feud with Arthur or whatever, and a bunch of people coming in. It's also obviously based on the Arthurian legend, and that we know all too well. That's why I picked it, because I love Arthurian legend. I thought this would be a really fun ride.
It was a ride, all right.
And it was a ride. So first of all, I'm going to address the fact that we got this on the wheel, and then Kai was here. He just happened to be here at the time that was picked. We were like, I swear to God, I wouldn't have picked this if he hadn't been there and said that Robert Bresson was a great director.
Yeah.
We would have gone with something else.
Oh, what, when
so
the wheel went?
I trust you, Kai, that Robert Bresson is a great director, and we're going to watch some great movies.
Okay.
I don't care about any of these movies.
Yeah, I would have skipped it because I feel like we've done so many director specials recently. Although I love doing them, I'd rather do something else. I feel like we should have skipped
it anyway. But
So for what it's worth, this is the best one of the lot, I think, for my own personal taste. But I also think I'm quite biased into because I really like Arthurian legend, and whenever it's like on the screen, I'm like, oh, it's that. That I know and I enjoy watching. But it's overall, I thought not an interesting movie. It's serviceable. It does what you sort of expect it to do, bar like a few. Maybe it's below that. I don't know. But
yeah, it was.
It's fine. It's fine enough to watch. I thought I had a pretty good time overall.
When the movie started, it starts with like someone getting decapitated and blood pouring out of their head.
Oh, it was pretty
and
epic.
all this like crazy violence. And I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm into this. But then the film just progressively lost me from there.
I think it had that.
Nothing like that ever happens again.
No, not really.
It has that sort of trouble of there's for a movie about like these like legends and stuff. It's very heavily based on people talking to each other, isn't it? Like it's very much a talky movie, isn't it?
They told the story in a very dull way.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean.
That was my biggest problem with the movie was that it didn't feel grand in any way.
No.
When you watch like Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, like we want some fucking grand shit. There's nothing, even just the way they filmed it was like they didn't care about making it like a tale, like an epic that you want to watch.
It definitely
it's just
wasn't,
watching a bunch of white people talking about bullshit.
Kind of feels like a play almost.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of times where I did like do like a proper chortle, like when whoever are together. And he's just like, I want your body. And I'm like, that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. You have my heart, Lancelot. It is your body I want. That was good. My guy. That
was a massive chortle from me. But I think that might have been like one of the only times I actually laughed in this. Because it just heavily relies on, a lot of like dialogue between characters that I don't care about any of them. I don't care about what's happening. And it sounds really bad, but I just wasn't really all that interested, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I like the characters by proxy, though.
Yeah, because you know them already, right?
I really like this legend. I'm reading T.H. White's The Once and Future King. I really like these characters in that book. I really like the movie Excalibur I think that's like such a far superior movie to this and explores exactly what you want to watch in a movie like that.
Yeah, even Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Even that deals with what this deals with, and it kind of educates you a bit on that legend, but in a more entertaining way than this does.
Yeah, I tend to have this strange idea that I want everything to be like horrible histories. Like I need it to entertain me and educate me at the same time, and this kind of did neither.
Yeah. King Arthur is such a like huge figure in like mythology. It's like you want him done right, or you want it to seem grand. I love the idea of And a lot of stories about him have done this where they've essentially made him a cuckold. where,
Yeah.
where they've gone, there was this affair between Lancelot and Guinevere, and like they sort of loved each other but had to hide it. I really like that about this legend. I think it lends itself to really interesting stories, but this one does not. This is exactly what this movie is about, but it doesn't do it well.
Yeah, I feel it's this guy. I mean, sorry, I'm looking him up on Wikipedia now. I have a feeling he has like this sort of sense of style where he's like, how do I describe it? It's like not everything is like epic and grand. Like things happen. Normal things happen to these people that are really boring and mundane, and that's something that he likes to highlight. Only out the 3 films that we saw, that's the big theme that I'm getting, is that he likes that kind of thing.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I don't think this needed to be super epic and grand. Like they could have told it in a much more subdued and natural and more down to earth sort of way. I think my biggest problem with it is it told it in a very monotonous way.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is what I was trying to get at, but I feel like there's just surely
I didn't feel like there was like any real like emotion in anything like the characters were saying, any of the performances. It just all kind of just felt very one note, and that's something I just didn't really gel with at all.
Like, did anyone really like? Okay, like because obviously you guys know that I rarely ever kind of grip onto movies in this kind of way, but like, did anyone really give a shit about any of them? Like, any one of them could have died within seconds of the movie, hours into the movie, 10 minutes into the movie. I didn't care, at all.
Well,
like, and I don't know. I don't think that's normal. I don't think I'm supposed to watch a movie and feel absolutely nothing. And I hate that more. I'd rather a movie piss me off to my very core than feel nothing, because I feel like it's just a wasted potential of a movie. But maybe that's just how. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I feel like I am due a reaction to a movie, right? Like I feel like it. I don't know. Like for me, if I'm not feeling anything, then I just feel like what's the point? What's the point of even having experienced this? You know.
I don't know. I didn't feel nothing for it.
I definitely
do like
did.
the movie. I just don't think it does what it had the potential to do with such a story. And I appreciate that you can tell stories with this type of legend where it is a bit more subdued. I don't know if I want that from this kind of story, because it's supposed to be tense, and it's supposed to be. I don't want to see fucking Arthur and Lancelot sitting on a table and with a beer and being like, "What the fuck, bro?" I don't want that. I want to see them clashing, and I want to see them fighting. You don't really get any of that. The best parts of this movie are the very beginning and the very end, and that is it. The rest of it is just like they're going through these beige sets with like beige tents and talking about bullshit. You know, you got characters you want to see. You got Lancelot. You got fucking Arthur and Mordred and all these bitches and Gwen. But they don't do anything with them. These people aren't interesting characters like they are in other stories. Like, I watched this and I was like, I really want to watch that show Merlin again. So I've been watching Merlin again, and it's like, it's night and day. You actually care about the characters in that show. I don't care about anyone in this movie. I'm not going to boil it down to be like, if they all died, I wouldn't care. I don't think that's like the point. I just think there's so much source material you can pull from. There's so many people who have written about this story. Why isn't it better? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There are definitely things I do like about it, though. I do think all the costumes and sets and everything, I think they're all really, really well done. I think visually it looks really good. And I also really enjoy like the jousting scenes. I think they're directed in a really interesting way where you don't actually really see anything. It's kind of all more based off of like the crowd reactions.
Yeah.
But I thought that was actually really quite effective.
I like that stuff. Yeah, I liked all that stuff. I liked seeing all the armor, and they clearly cared about trying to show it in like a more authentic way. Like they wanted to put you in that place, especially after seeing shit like the Lord of the Rings show and how they butchered the costumes and that. Like showing that they actually cared about putting these people in actual armor, or what looked like actual armor.
Yeah.
Seeing that they had actually been through shit, like they were a bit dinged up and all that. I love that stuff.
I loved how loud the armor was when they were walking around as well.
I actually
it would
like
be.
that.
It would
Yeah,
be.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen like a medieval sort of thing where the armor's like clunking as
Do you
they
know what,
walk. But
I'm
that's
actually
exactly
glad,
what
yeah,
it
I'm
would be
glad you
like.
brought that up because I was like, you ever see, you watch these movies with like these people in armor, right? And they're just like silent, like nothing ever makes a noise, but they clearly would rub against each other, wouldn't they, and make like horrific noise. I mean, it was really annoying, but like I appreciated that it was like accurate, right? Because I'm like, oh, okay, like you don't see it, do you? But I can see why, because it's really fucking annoying. Like,
Another thing you don't see is the round table. You see like an edge of the round table. They're like, this is the round table. You see it from like sort of a side shot. You're like, what the fuck? It was just like a brown table with like just brown chairs, and they all look the same. If you're going to show it or even allude to it, show it and make it awesome. That's the round table, god damn it. I want to see it. Even if I had seen it, I feel like it would have just been like just a table and chairs, and it would have been nothing to gawk at. It was kind of a letdown, honestly. And I want to see them like all gathered around the table and being like, what the fuck, man? Where they're all equal, where no man is above one other man, and they're all together, you know? That's what I like in these types of stories. And to feel the kind of magic to it, where magic does exist in this world, but I don't think they really cared about showing that side to it whatsoever. I guess it's not what the movie's about. And, you know, it's not interesting to look at either.
No.
It's very a beige type of movie, but like they are going through these beige tents. They go into a room, stone walls, go upstairs, more stone walls, and they're all in this like 3, maybe 4 locations. What interested me more was like when they were in the forest and you could see like the breadth of the forest, and just a horse run through the forest as people get shot with arrows, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. What the hell? That was the best part of the movie, was like right at the end, where it was all like they come to it, you know, they come to the battle. You don't see anyone get killed. You just see people who are dead. I thought that was an interesting way to do it, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
People up in the trees shooting arrows, and the horse just runs around a bit. I love the ending for some reason. I love just seeing them all collapse on the floor, and they're all dead. And then
that was quite
ends
interesting, yeah.
immediately. And
I
you're
like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was all for nothing.
Yeah, we rented it on Google Play. So obviously we were watching it through YouTube, and they all like are dead on the floor, and then just goes back to the YouTube homepage without
Yeah, I
any
like how it
credits or
just went
anything.
black and then it just it just circled back.
The other movie did the same.
I thought that was quite funny, actually. There was something about that was just like it doesn't give you a minute to even think about it. It was like, okay.
Would have been better if it was punctuated by a bit of emotion, but it doesn't manage it. These guys, they're supposed to be friends. I was thinking, you guys are supposed to be friends, Lancelot and Arthur. This is supposed to be something you are passionate about, but there's no passion. There's nothing there. He's just like, I guess I'll give you back Guinevere. Here you go. Here's Guinevere. And he just takes him and he walks away. He just takes her and he walks away. I was like, that's that then. It was for nothing and everybody died for nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Righto. There was a fucking raw-ass line from Gawain, whatever you want to call him.
Gawain.
It was, he said, I would give my last drop of blood to save your life, but I fear my own pathetic life weighs too little to tip the balance. To Guinevere. I was like, fucking hell. That was awesome.
Yeah, every once in a while it was like an insane line.
I wonder if he wrote it. Robert Bresson.
I don't think he did.
No.
I'll double check, but I don't think.
No. That's why I don't like him. That's why I don't like him. I don't like Robert Bresson now. Sorry.
Oh, because you didn't write it.
No, not because I don't care about these movies, man. I just don't care.
There's no one credited for writing.
Nobody wrote this movie.
Well, they all went on a whim.
It was just ad-libbed.
They ad-libbed.
It was all improvised, and that's why it sucks. It doesn't suck, but that's why a lot of it
That's
sucks.
pretty funny though.
Or at least, I mean, the music was good. I give it that. Like these bagpipes and drums that
It
were
was
going through
written
it.
by him. Fun fact.
It was written by him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, there we go. Chris has lied to me yet again.
I went on IMDb and there was no one
I
credited
went on
for it.
Wiki. So, I mean, take that as you will.
I went on Wiki.
I just say take it as you will. It said it was
No.
written by him, but you know,
That's
people
like-
can
yeah.
edit, say like the Wicker Man wrote it, so
The Wiki Man.
the Wiki Man.
That's annoying about this movie too. Is like it starts so strong
Mm.
for the first 30 seconds. You're like, this is something. You got the bagpipes going,
Yeah.
the drums.
I was
A
expecting
guy
more.
gets his head cut clean off. You're like, oh shit, this is
Yeah.
gonna bang. No, that's as good as it gets.
Apparently, David Lowery was heavily inspired by this for The Green Knight.
Why?
I don't know. People like it.
I don't know, man.
Was he?
I see nothing in this movie.
Yeah, I
from
don't
The
either,
Green Knight.
really.
I don't know.
Apart from the
Gawain's
theme.
there.
Yeah, the theme was like
Gawain's
the
there.
only thing I could think of.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
about
so.
the similar
It's
thing.
sort of about similar things.
Yeah.
I guess. Depends how literal you want to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I did think that some of the helmets looked really similar to the ones in The Green Knight, but that could have just been like any old like medieval kind of armor. But they did look really similar.
Yeah.
I got the vibe. I was like, oh, that reminds me of that thing from The Green Knight. But I didn't think too much of it because it's you know what I mean? When a film follows like a similar theme, like, I don't know, it'd be like Robin Hood and being like, whoa, he has the same cape as Robin Hood. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, it's in, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which,
Doesn't
just a
mean
fun
anything.
little fact. I'm getting a tattoo in a couple of days, and
Oh, is
based
it
on The
this
Green Knight.
soon?
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was thinking about that. I was thinking about this the other day when we were watching this movie, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember Max saying he was getting a tattoo, but it's
Yeah.
like coming up to June, and I don't remember when he said he
yeah.
was getting it.
Great movie.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to get a tattoo
Sorry,
based on that. So that's going to be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Knocking over everything.
Lancelot du Lac.
Yes. The lack of the lack.
What are we going to rate this one out of?
Up to you.
Up to me.
Oh no, I put him on the spot now.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. We'll rate it-
Horses.
No, fuck you.
Horses. Is that the best you can do?
We'll rate it out of more dreads.
More dreads.
I like him. I like his name.
Yeah, that name was actually insane.
Yeah, I found the movie quite dull, but I do think there's a lot of it that is quite well made. Don't even think it's necessarily a bad movie. I think it is a good movie. It's just not really for me. I give it 6 more dreads out of 10.
Yeah. I watched the Mordred episode of Merlin the other day. That's sick. They find Mordred. He played by Asa Butterfield.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a guy.
What a guy.
That's a name I recognise, but that's about it.
He's like a child. He looks like he's one of those who looks perpetually like a child.
Isn't he in Sex Education, the show he's in?
He's in Ender's Game. Have you seen Ender's Game?
Is he the main guy?
Yeah, he's one of the main
Yeah,
guys.
main guy in Sex Education.
Yeah, he's got bright blue eyes. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, I thought I
Yeah.
recognised the name.
Decent enough, but whatever.
He was Hugo as well.
Yeah. There are better movies about these things. There are better books
Sorry.
about what this is trying to say. 6 more dreads out of 10.
I think it's a tricky one because it's not even like a bad movie. It just didn't hit as hard. So I'm like teetering between like 5 and 6. But for the sakes of giving the last movie a 5, I'll give this one a 6. Oh my god, what was the name?
Mordred.
Mordred's. Why did I say it like that? I like
Mordred.
rolled my tongue a little bit, and now I'm like
Mordred.
looking at my movie and I don't even want to talk about this.
Try and describe the plot without looking it up.
Brother, I can't. I'm like everywhere I look, it's a different plot. So okay,
No one knows what this movie's about then,
No.
clearly.
okay. So I'm just going based off what IMDb is telling me, and I don't even know when this movie came out. But this one is The Devil Probably from 1977, supposedly 1977.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
So this plot reads, right? Charles drifts through politics, religion, and psychoanalysis, rejecting them all. Once he realizes the depth of the disgust with the moral and physical decline of society he lives in, he decides that suicide is the only option. At what point, really? Didn't know his name was Charles, by the way. That's so bad. I didn't know the main guy's name was Charles because I didn't pay any fuck of attention to this movie.
Yeah.
I feel so that was it. That was the whole plot. What according to this movie.
Yeah, I don't think
has-
any of that happened, but
This
okay.
movie has 3 awards.
Any of it happened?
That's what it said. I mean, he didn't even kill himself. That's the part that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my god, it won 3 international film awards.
Yeah, well, they just
For
give those
fucking
out.
What?
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? French movie. Just give it an award.
Yeah.
Anyway,
A known director as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
see this. I mean this movie's quite a weird one actually because this one's higher rated than Max's one, right?
Okay.
According to IMDb, right? But like, I don't know where it's justified, man. Maybe is this one of those films like it had the most interesting plot out of the 3 movies, in my opinion, right? Like, when I say plot, I mean.
Do you mean the letterbox description?
Yeah, the letterbox description. Sorry, made it seem like it was like this like cool slice of life thing about like these disgruntled like French hipster students, and I was like, yes, I love that kind of shit. Sex, drugs, privacy, pussy, pasta. But like, no. No.
This is bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Everyone loves it. Like, I'm literally like reading reviews about like how it's like this great.
It's
like,
so boring.
statement.
I don't think it really has anything interesting to say.
That's not what everyone else is saying. Everyone is literally like saying like this is like groundbreaking, like stories about like the French youth and society.
It's
and
the
all
worst
this.
part about the French youth. They think they can do these things. They just can't. You can't. Yeah, I know a bunch of French assholes sit around contemplating how the world's turning to shit. They think they're goddamn geniuses for doing so and watching a bunch of videos about polar bears being slaughtered.
No, it was seals.
Look, man, I know these things happen. I don't want a movie about it. It's boring. It's boring to watch these people philosophize over a bunch of shit that no one cares about. Well, no one cares about. But it's like, we all know this. We all know. We get it. I get it.
Yeah, I don't think it's even groundbreaking for its time either.
No, this was
like,
the 70s, for God's sake.
Like, you could find like films like this were like a dime a dozen back then. Like maybe if it came out in like the 60s, like early 60s or like the 50s, then it'd be like groundbreaking.
And the later 70s as well.
Like towards the end of the 70s, that was kind of like people were doing all kinds of crazy shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is like, this came across to me, right? I did philosophy at A level, don't you know? And this came across to me as like one really long like philosophy presentation that no one wanted to sit through in college.
Yeah.
That's what this made me feel like. I was like taken back to a time where I was bored out of my mind listening to Hobbes talk about how the world's gone to shit because we're all thugs or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I get it.
That's a lot of what they did. They just like watched like the TV.
Yeah, that's literally what this was like. It was like
gathered around a TV and they're like, oh man, global warming's bad, man.
Yeah, that's literally what my philosophy classes were like, but probably on a slightly.
Here you go. We'll show you a video of a seal being clubbed to death.
I didn't like that. I really did not like that or appreciate that in any way. Thank you.
That was the most that happened in this movie, and I didn't like it.
That was the most visceral reaction I got out of this movie, I must say, because I was angry. I was very angry.
Yeah. I wasn't so mad about obviously I was mad about the video itself. I was more mad that they decided to show it in this movie when nothing happens. I was like, why did you bother? Why did you have to try that?
It felt a little bit unnecessary. And what I mean by that is because I know it's supposed to be like within context of this like whole movie. It's like, look at society, look at what we do. We kill these animals for no reason, blah, blah, blah. Man are evil, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I already knew. I don't need a video.
Make a fucking documentary.
This could have easily have just been like, I don't know. Because it's one of those where, people are talking about how this is like such a civilized movie about like the decay of man or whatever, and I'm like, but
everything's going to shit. I don't want to watch a bunch of indie scholars with a fucking cigarettes in their hands.
Yeah, like whatever.
Contemplating about how it's going to get even worse.
Yeah, like this is the one thing that gets me, right? Like I went to art school, right?
Oh no.
No. There's a point to this, right? When you go to art school, you see people like this all the time that think like they're the pain is edgy and like thinking everything is shit is like
I
so
have no
cool.
time for nihilism that leads to nothing.
Everyone's a nihilist basically, and you get so sick of that shit so quickly because it's just
people think they're great.
Yeah, like what's in it for you?
This.
Yeah. Like, that's what this was reminding me of. I mean, obviously, not every art student is like this, so otherwise, we would all be, like, killing each other out in the streets because we hate each other so much. But, like, it's just unbearable when you think, like, is this really what you want to think? Like, oh, my God, life is so shit. God, everything's so shit. God, it's so edgy to be shit. It's like, fuck off.
Basically just a bunch of pretentious people.
That's the one.
Without any sort of arc, just talking.
Mm-hmm.
For an hour and a half, whatever it was.
I think what is even like what gets me about this movie the most is, and this is going to sound really dumb, but it was the ending of the movie was what got me the most. Was because I thought this film has almost like had nothing happen in it, right? Like nothing of note or no like real indications of like where it was going to go, quote unquote, even though there was like that newspaper at the beginning, but that didn't mean anything, right? And then all of a sudden this guy is just like shot down by his mate.
Twice in the back.
Yeah, for no reason. Like no reason whatsoever. Like there wasn't even they didn't even have a fight. There wasn't like some sort of scuffle that I know
he said
about.
He wanted
like
to die, so he gave him a gun. He was like, "Then die, bitch."
And they're like,
and then the newspaper were like, "This man has committed suicide by shooting himself twice in the back."
how's that even possible? How do you even roll that? And like how? And it ends with like no consequence either. So it's like truly a nihilist dream. It is truly a nihilist wet dream, this movie.
No consequences.
Yeah, like, oh, look, it doesn't matter what you do because it doesn't matter anyway. It's like, oh.
Life is piss.
Yeah. Life is pain and piss.
Life is pain and piss. It sucks. I don't like it. Oh, boo-hoo. It's so boring. It's such a boring ideology to have. So you're not cool. You're not edgy. Just being nihilistic and thinking the world sucks.
Yeah, like the thing is, if I had see, this is going to sound really, really bad, right? But, art student. But like, if I had watched this about 10 years ago, I probably would have thought this was the greatest movie on earth. Like, no joke.
Oh, no.
But I think you grow out of that kind of thing, to be honest. I feel like this is a film for, and it is about teenagers, isn't it? And I actually think it's for like really edgy, quote unquote edgy, people that actually believe in this kind of thing. And I mean, like I said, once upon a time, I probably would have loved this.
Do you know the film's an 18?
Yeah, it's on IMDb, yeah.
Probably because of the seal.
Because it's so boring.
It can't be.
You can show
nothing
that
else happens.
Hold on. There's a parent's guide here.
Yeah, I read through it and like the only
Sex and nudity, violence and gore.
Yeah, the only
Alcohol.
thing in that is like seal gets bonked, man is shot.
Seal gets bonked. Oh,
that's like the only things that happen in the movie.
Well, apparently, part of it is because there's female and male nudity in one scene.
Barely.
Therefore, that counts.
Not really.
It says extended view.
No.
But it's in one scene. But apparently
don't really see anything at all.
Well, that's
nothing that you can't put in a 12 at most.
No, do you know what? It's not a 12 it's not 12 anywhere. It's like 15 or 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand it being a 15 actually, but an 18 seems a little bit extreme to be honest. Well, think of it this way.
If I had to accept one of them, I'd go 15.
Yeah, I mean, I think 12 just probably, I don't know, I think 12 is...
I don't know, I'd probably say PG. There's like nothing in it that's bad.
Just see a seal getting clubbed to death, bro. They didn't get you? They didn't get to you?
Nah.
Oh, you sicken me.
Oh, and another one is man injects heroin into himself.
Nah, that's probably why it's an 18.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I love that. Violence and gore. Man is shot.
Heroin. Yeah, man. We started watching this at 1.25 times speed, and it felt like nothing had changed.
It felt like a normal speed, which was really bizarre, actually.
But we sped it up again. We put it on at 1.5 times speed, and it still felt
normal,
like it was going at a normal pace.
I didn't get it. It was
I guess
weird.
beforehand it felt really, really slow.
Yeah. Did we end up going to 2 or what did we say at 1.5?
No, it was 1.5.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
then you wouldn't have known what was going on.
I think it's because we also didn't have like a lot. We didn't have that much left of the film anyway by the time we'd done 1.5, so it didn't really seem...
Yeah, it was only like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think it was less.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem worth it. Although, would have been worth it.
Yeah, we weren't getting anything out of the movie.
I also kept forgetting that we'd sped it up.
Yeah,
it just felt like it was going at a normal speed. Oh yeah, we're watching this at 1.5 times speed. How strange.
Yeah. Is there actually anything else to say about it?
I mean,
I thought when they were talking about flooding that it just got me thinking about how we live in a city that's doomed to flood.
Yeah.
But they're trying to build like sea defense at the moment to stop everyone dying and getting washed away.
Yeah, I walked past that today and it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, you say that now, but it's going to save your life.
True, I'm just saying it's ugly. It is very ugly.
Hey, it ain't there to look pretty.
No, but I must say, when they were talking about like things
that,
like global warming, innit?
I walked past that the other day. I was trying to go to the beach or like walk across the seafront, and they have this like wide collection of like boards that tell you exactly why they're doing it and what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
To try and save us from the great flood that is doomed to happen, and that was more entertaining and interesting to read about than anything that happens in this movie.
Yeah, but that feels like, I don't know, that almost feels personal. Like you have to know what you're getting involved in when you live near the sea, right? Like you see this kind of stuff all the time. About
You see the people who live on the cliff
floods,
sides.
yeah, and they get like flooded or they
lose
get their
their
houses,
homes.
eroded.
They
and that.
fall off of the cliff.
But like, what the only thing about this movie that got me really thinking was that when they were talking about like global warming and stuff, I thought that was the 70s. It's worse now. I was like, Jesus, I don't even want to know.
What got me thinking was when they said 400,000 elephants and 1,000 rhinos were killed in Kenya this year. I was like,
surely
I don't think so.
Surely there's not even that many elephants, let alone just in Kenya.
That was the year of the Great Purge.
What,
the Great Elephant Purge. Now there's only
the elephant extinction, you mean?
Now there's only about 3,000 elephants ever.
They're all gone.
In the world, not even in Kenya.
Yeah, that is
mostly congregated in Kenya.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a natter, shoot the breeze. People come along. 400,000 elephants dead. Where do they find the time to kill 400,000 elephants and 1,000 rhinos in Kenya, all in the space of 1 year? That's
busy
mad,
days,
bruv. That's mad ratings.
Yeah.
What are we rating this one out of?
Seals.
The devil, probably.
I would like to rate it out of Seals as a tribute to my fallen bonken soldier.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got bonked, bro.
That actually really infuriated me. Like, I've never. I normally feel hot white rage when stuff like that happens, but this was something else.
Yeah. Boring movie. Had nothing to say. Kind of pretentious. No thanks. Seals. 3 seals out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the toilet while you wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah, it just pissed me off a lot how little was happening. And I'm very disappointed in this marathon as a whole. Especially because it was recommended to us. We were going to say no, and then oh no, do this one because he's cool.
I kind of wish you had, in theory.
Sorry, Robert. That is what I think of these movies. I did not have much fun with them. 2 bonked seals out of 10.
Bonk. I'm gonna give it 2 seal bonks because I've forgotten what we were rating out.
2 seal bonks.
2 seal bonks. Bonk seals. Fear Eats the Soul will just come up on my. This film actually slapped. Wait, was this part of the trilogy of movies of the episode that never came to be?
What? Who?
Ali, Fear Eats the Soul. Was that part of it?
Yeah. You got to cut this out. They can never know.
Oh my god.
What's going on?
Oh,
why are you talking about that?
Oh, it just come up randomly on like related films or whatever.
Oh right.
And it just happened to be there, and I was like, oh, that film slaps. Couscous. That film's great.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
So that brings us to the end of Robert Bresson.
Yes.
The trilogy that was quite disappointing. Sorry about that. You can't win them all.
Nah.
Next episode, we're going to do a better one, we hope. We're going to spin a wheel. It's going to tell us what the hell we're going to watch in the next one.
At least Kai ain't here to tell us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, do that one, please. Do this French one.
But he did recommend Fear Eats the Soul, so...
Oh, God. What the hell was that?
That was horrible.
What have we got?
Another director.
No, don't even care who that was. Don't even care.
Could have been anyone and we've just been like, no, it's okay.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon!
It's finally happened!
Yeah, Lethal Weapon, baby!
It's finally happened!
That's going to be awesome.
It's finally happened, guys.
It's finally happened. Oh my God, I got to find that now. I got to find that fucking voice note.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
One of you boys is going to have that in your brain.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
So exciting.
Lethal Weapon. What? 3 of them?
4.
4 Lethal Weapon movies. 4 Lethal Weapon movies.
Brilliant.
For the next one, episode 1, 2, 3. Stay tuned and watch those movies. Social media, we got it. YouTube, The Sunday Movie Marathon. Instagram @SundayMoviePod. Twitter @SundayMoviePod. Facebook @SundayMovieMarathon. Letterboxd @SundayMM. Capital S, capital MM. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Rate the podcast 5 stars if you can. Any last words before we...
Rest in peace, Tina Turner. She died while we were recording this.
What?
Or maybe she didn't die.
What?
But it was announced that she died when we were recording.
Oh my God, what the wait, no.
No, you can't.
Oh my fucking God.
You can't just... My phone...
Holy shit!
My phone hasn't told me anything about Tina Turner dying, thank you.
Oh my God, she's dead!
Oh my God, 83!
No fucking way!
Wow, damn.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Well,
Well, there you go, viewers. Viewers, you're not a viewer, you're a listener.
Yeah, I saw it like halfway through the episode. I was like, I'll save that for the end.
Damn,
Jesus Christ.
that's quite sad.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Queen.
yeah. Oh, man.
Queen forever.
Jesus. That, my God.
Yeah. Jesus.
See you in the next one.